Hello everyone, back again with me, Sir Julius. So for today, we will learn about Pythagorean Theorem. So let's start. So what is Pythagorean Theorem? Pythagorean Theorem states that the square of the hypotenuse of a right-angled triangle is equal to the sum of the squares of the other two sides. So what is hypotenuse? Hypotenuse is the longest line in the triangle, or the longest sides of the triangle. Okay, so this is the formula. The formula is a square plus b square equals to c square. C in here is a hypotenuse, meanwhile a and b is the sides. Okay, so let's see the example. So if we have a triangle with sides of 3, 4, and 5, we can draw the square of the sides. So 3, 4, and 5. So we can find the area of the square. So 3 square equals to 9, 4 square equals to 16, and 5 square equals to 25. So 9 plus 16 equals to 25. So we can state that a square plus b square equals to c square. So next, what are the usage of that Pythagorean theorem? So the first one is to find the length of the third side. But remember, it only works on right-angled triangles. So now let's see the first example. So triangle FGH has a right angle at G. If the length of GH and GF are 8 cm and 15 cm respectively, find the length of HF. So now first of all, we will draw the triangle. So this one, triangle FGH with the right angle at G. Okay, so HF is a hypotenuse, meanwhile GH and GF are the sides of the triangle. So we can write the formula HF square equals to GH square plus GF square. So HF square equals to 8 square plus 15 square. HF square equals to 64 plus 225. So 64 plus 225, we have 289. So HF square will be 289. So we can find the length of HF. HF equals to square roots of 289. So we have the length of HF, or the hypotenuse, is 17. Okay, so now we'll go to our next question. Triangle FGH has a right angle at G. Meanwhile, the length of GH and HF are 5 cm and 13 cm respectively. So find the length of GF. Okay, first of all, we draw the triangle. But now we know the hypotenuse and one side of the triangle. We must find another side of that triangle. So we can use this formula HF square equals to GH square plus GF square. So HF is 13 centimeters. So 13 square equals to GH is 5 centimeters. So 13 square equals to 5 square plus GF square. So 13 square is 169. 5 square is 25 plus GF square. So we can subtract 25 from both sides to make GF stand alone. So we can write it as GF square equals to 169 minus 25, or 144. So GF square is 144. So we can find the length of GF. GF equals to square roots of 144. Or we can write it, the length of GF is 12. So that's the first usage. The second usage is for check the type of triangle. So using that theorem, we can check the type of triangle. whether this triangle is right triangle, acute triangle, or obtuse triangle. So how can we do it? So in the triangle ABC with the longest side C, so C is the longest side. Okay, if C square is less than A square plus B square, then the triangle is acute. If C square equals to A square plus B square, then the triangle is right triangle. And if C square is greater than A square plus B square, then the triangle is obtuse. So that's how to differentiate the type of the triangle using the theorem. Okay, so now we'll go to the question. MNP is a triangle. The length of MN and E and MP are 9, 15, and 12 centimeters respectively. Prove that triangle MNP is right triangle. So we must prove whether the MNP triangle is right or not. So for the right triangle, there will be C squared equals to A squared plus B squared. C is the longest side, so C is equal 15 centimeters. So 15 centimeters squared equals to 9 centimeters squared plus 12 centimeters squares. Now we'll see 15 squared is 225, 9 squared is 81, 12 squared is 144. So 81 plus 144 is 225. So we can see that C squared equals to A squared plus B squared. So we can conclude that MNP is a right triangle. So now we'll go to our next question. Determine whether the triangle is acute, right, or obtuse. Okay, so for the first one, DE equals to 21, EF equals to 28, and DF equals to 35. So C is the longest side, so C is 35. So we must find the relation between C squared and A squared plus B squared. So 35 squared, and then we have 21 squared plus 28 squared. 35 squared is 1225. 21 squared is 441, and 28 squared is 784. So 441 plus 784 is equal to 125. So the relation will be equal. C squared equal to A squared plus B squared. So we can conclude that triangle DEF is a right triangle. Now we'll see our next question. It's the same, determine whether the triangle is acute, right, or obtuse. But now PQ is 8, and then PR is 9, and then we have QR is 11. So C is the longest side, so C is 11. So we must find the relation. C squared is 11 squared, and then 8 squared plus 9 squared. 11 squared is 121, 8 squared is 64, and then 9 squared is 81. So we must find the sum of 64 and 81. 64 plus 81 is 145. So we must find the relation. 121 is less than 145. Because C squared is less than A squared plus B squared, that we can conclude that this triangle is an acute triangle. So now our last question. So determine whether the triangle is acute, right, or obtuse. So KL equal to 7 and LM equals to 5. KM equals to 10. So the longest side is 10. So 10 is C. So C squared and then A squared plus B squared. So 10 squared and then 5 squared plus 7 squared. 10 squared is 100. 5 squared 25 and 7 squared is 49. So 25 plus 49. 25 plus 49 is 74. So we must find the relation between C squared and A squared plus B squared. So 100 is greater than 74. So C squared is greater than A squared plus B squared. So we can conclude that this triangle is an obtuse triangle. Okay, so that's it for today. I'll see you again in our next lesson. Bye all.